in this particular video what we're going to be looking at is some of the finished pieces, and then we'll go on and look at how they come together. Hi guys, it's Amanda here. So we are going to be going... little rusts. We're going to be going through a series of fabric, some of my fabric work, and I'm going to be showing you how I paint the fabric, basically. I've got a variety of different techniques that I use, and like on this one, the piece of painted fabric is here, and so it's a small piece, and so we're going to have a look through some of the pieces today, and then in further videos what I'll be going through is the supplies I use and some of the effects or techniques that I use, how I would use to paint on a canvas or fabric. I've got a variety of different types of fabric I use for different things. So some of my pieces, like this, not this particular one, this has got, well actually here, this has got fabric that has been wax resist, and it's used as the, to loop. For some of them I use fabric on the backing, and the other thing we're going to look at is wax resist and fabric that the kind of fabric I use to create on. And then this one will probably be the last one. This is actually bubble wrap, and let me come in for you. There's a particular technique you have to do to get it so that you can work on it, and so I'll be sharing those things with you. So I'm quite excited because I love talking about my fabric pieces. If you join, so this one you might have seen, it's a wax resist one, and we'll go into wax resist further along in the series, but it's wax. I loved the way this turned out. It's just got a plain backing, yeah, this was done in several sittings, and then we've got wood harvested from the garden. This is mahogany wood, yep, and this was done in several stages, and I'll share with you how those stages take place. And then we've got the stitching, we've got a dark coloured stitching and then the light coloured stitching, which you'll probably be able to see, and it's a face. It's a panel with lots of stitching. I'd initially done the stitching first, and then I added the dye. So all of this was stitched, apart from the where there's quite a lot of detail here and here. So the main image, that was what what you can see in terms of the outline is what was stitched first, and then I went in and added, it was a wax resist technique, and dyed it. And what we have on the outside is a separate panel that was wax resist, and they were very near in colour, and this one has some highlights of red, but I wanted to incorporate that as well. I loved the way this turned out. And then I had another piece which I'd cut out a circle and created that pattern. But I love, the highlights of colour that we've got And then I used a branch from my cotton tree that you would have seen earlier, or you may have seen earlier, but this is a branch from my cotton tree, and I've burned into the wood after it had dried. The back of the piece, I've just used a plain blue fabric. I didn't want to kind of bring in anything else, and then you can see the back of these pieces. So the only other thing for me to add is my name and the title of this. These pieces, it's just got elements of painted fabric that I've placed in here. This particular piece here is wax resist, and let me see on this one. Yeah, this has got elements as well of fabric that I've painted. So the fabric I will create on a wide variety of different fabric and then use elements in different ways in my art. There was a point where I was really into doing the fabric wax resist, and so I created quite a few of these mini panels, and the backing for this one has just splatterings of paint. But you can see there's a lot of detail when we go around the front. There's a lot of detail, and then the panels that I use on the side, again, they're wax resist, but also written on as well. So that's that one. Don't know whether you can see there's like a little face coming through here. But I create quite a lot of these. I like doing art. I wanted to get into quilting, and as the more I researched about how to quilt, I realised that I wanted to create my own art quilts. It wasn't that I wanted to create a big quilt that was used on a bed. I wanted to create mini art panels, and so that's what I've done. And again, this uses the wax resist kind of technique, staining, dyeing, and the back, this is a similar sort of backing, which the colours, you know, the colours go nicely with the edging, and I like the colours that I've managed to get, and that's through just kind of staining the fabric first and not really working intuitively. Not, if you ask me to create this particular technique again, I wouldn't, no two pieces are the same, so you know, you probably get a different effect. But that's a little taster for you for this session. What I will now go on and show you is where a lot of the pieces first start out, how they start out. So,